channel, or welcome here if you are new. So in today's video, we're gonna be doing something a little bit different. So I'm actually gonna take you along on my day and cooking all the things that I need for Thanksgiving dinner tonight. So I'm gonna be making some holiday crack, which is a dessert recipe. I'm gonna do corn casserole, which I've never made before, but I've heard that it's really, really good. Also gonna be making cheesy potatoes, which is also known as funeral potatoes. I'm making a Asian ramen noodle salad, and then also some dirt pudding, which is another dessert. So if you want to see what I'm making for Thanksgiving this year, then just keep watching. So we are going to get started on the cheesy potatoes first. This is the one that takes the longest to make, so I'm going to go ahead and get started on that. So we're going to need a 1/4 cup of melted butter, some onion, sour cream. It calls for 2 cans of cream of chicken, but I only have 1 can of cream of chicken, 1 cream of mushroom, and then some cheese, and then we'll top it with a cornflake mixture. So I'm gonna go ahead and just dump my cans into this mixing bowl here. So it is about 8 o'clock right now on Thanksgiving. I procrastinated and waited until the very last minute to do anything, so here we are. Today we have 2 Thanksgivings to go to, and then we're going to my grandma's tomorrow. So yeah, I'm making things for 3 Thanksgivings. Just with my husband being gone, I'm adding sour cream. I really did not want to host Thanksgiving this year, so I decided that I was not going to. And honestly, it's been like a huge weight lifted off me. So I'm glad that I decided to not do that. So this recipe is like one of my favorite things ever. It is so good. And I've never made it for any get-togethers before, but I have made it just for like being here at home. So I'm hoping that it's gonna be a hit. I have a feeling that it will be. I'm just gonna add a little bit of salt because the potatoes are gonna need salt. And then I'm gonna add some garlic powder. Just measure with your heart here. Just remember that you're cooking with potatoes, so they can handle a lot of seasoning. Paprika. And then I don't have like a regular onion, so I'm just gonna add this minced onion. I've had this for a while, I kinda need to get it eased up. I do have my oven preheating to 350. Okay, and then it calls for a 1/2 stick of butter, so I'm gonna put 1/2 stick of butter in the microwave and melt that down. While that is melting down, I'm just gonna go ahead and add some cheese. It calls for 2 cups, so I'm putting about 1 cup inside the mixture, and then we'll put the other cup like on top. Oops, under my nails. And then I'm just gonna mix this together really quickly. Okay, we'll throw our butter in. Mix that around. Okay. Now, I got all of these little containers at Costco, which was a good investment because I knew I was gonna be needing them for the holidays. But anyway, I'm not gonna be taking any food home, so I'm just gonna use the foil and hopefully everything will be gone so we don't have to worry about it. So I just grease that really quickly, and then I'm gonna grab my potatoes. I just got the Southern style hash browns. You can use like the regular shredded hash browns if you wanted to. I think the potatoes O'Brien with the onions and peppers would be really good too, but I didn't want to get that because I didn't know like if everyone liked that. But I think that would be really good too. And if you're wanting to make this a meal, this would be really good with like ham and bacon, or you could do chicken. So yeah. Okay, so now that we have the potatoes in there, we're just gonna mix it together. make sure you drop some on the floor. I forgot to add pepper, so I'm gonna do that here in just a second. So our Thanksgiving dinners are at noon and then 2. So they're kind of like close together. So I'm not really looking forward to that. Hey, don't do that. No, no, no. So I'm not looking forward to like eating so close together, but we'll just have to like watch how much we eat at the first one. And also my husband is supposed to be calling today, so that is exciting. If you're new to my channel, he is in basic training right now for the military. So he's not here for Thanksgiving this year, which is really sad and I hate it, but it's all for a good thing. So, okay, now that it's all mixed together, I'm just gonna throw it in here.
Yep, oh look at that, Mom. Excuse me. Oh, wait, do that.
And then I'm just gonna even it out. Okay, we're gonna set this to the side. And I'm going to get started on the cornflake mixture. So that is 1.5 cups of cornflakes and 1/4 cup of melted butter. So I don't know how much 1/4 cup is. 1/2 stick is, oh, that was supposed to be a whole. Okay, well, I messed up. 1/2 cup of butter is a whole stick of butter. I did not know that until just now, but the topping calls for a 1/4 stick of butter, but I mean, I think it'll still be okay without the other half. So I'm gonna melt that down. I get another mixing bowl. I've got my cornflakes here. My son got into these and had a bowl of cereal, so I had to put it in a bag, and it is 1.5 cups. I've never made this topping before. I hope it's good. I'm sure it'll be fine. It doesn't look like very much. I'm gonna go ahead and do 2 cups because I know people like the topping.
Oh,
and I'm just gonna dump it in
the egg is ready.
It's not egg, baby. It's butter. Nope.
I want this.
Okay, I'm just gonna mix this all together. Make sure that the cornflakes are coated. That pretty much looks amazing. So I'm gonna throw this in the oven at 350 for about 50 minutes. Okay, so now I think we're gonna get started on the dirt pudding since the oven's gonna be held up for a little bit. I'm just gonna clean off the surface here. So dirt pudding is one of those like nostalgic recipes that my family always made when I was little. My hair's getting in my way. And it's just one that I always love to make. So I've got some cream cheese, some pudding, some Cool Whip, and then it calls for like butter, sugar, Oreos. It's super easy. So we're gonna go ahead. I'm gonna open up the cream cheese. I forgot to set it out last night. I forgot to set it out last night. So I'm gonna just throw it in the microwave for a couple seconds.
What are you making?
So I have made this recipe so many times that I pretty well know how to make it like without looking at the recipe. And I've adapted it to my own. Like I know there's a ton of different ways to make this, but this is how I do it. So I've got 1 block of cream cheese, 1 thing of the family size of pudding. I get 1 of the family size because I feel like 2 of the little boxes are a little bit too much. So I'm gonna make the pudding really quickly. This might sound kind of weird, but I have a little bit of this creamer left that I'm just not using. So it's sweet cream, so it's not like it's a weird flavor or anything.
That's like yours.
So I'm just gonna use the rest of this and then fill the rest up with milk. So the recipe calls for 3.5 cups of milk, but I just do 2. Okay, so I'm gonna dump the milk in here. And then I'm gonna do the pudding. And then we're just gonna whisk it together. That's about as good as it's gonna get. We're gonna throw this in the fridge let it set up until I'm ready for it. Okay, and also we're going to melt another half a stick of butter. Okay, so I've got my melted cream cheese, my melted butter. So I'm just gonna throw these in the same bowl that I've been using. Like, it's not a big deal, you know? And then the butter. And then it calls for a half a cup of sugar. So I'm gonna do that. And then I'm actually just going to whisk it with my hand mixer. So I'm gonna get that out. Okay, there's that. I'm gonna grab my pudding. And it's already set up, as you can see, like it's already hard. So, I'm gonna get my spatula and just transfer the cream cheese over to the pudding. This is super easy and it's definitely a crowd pleaser. So if you're struggling to find something for dessert, this video is gonna go up after Thanksgiving, of course, but if you still have like Thanksgiving dinners to go to this weekend or whatever, it's a good one. Also for Christmas, it's a good one. So now I've got a whole thing of cream of Cool Whip. So the original recipe says to only put half in and then reserve the other half for the topping, but I don't do that. So I'm going to use the whole thing and just put it all in here. The original recipe also says to layer all of these layers, but we don't do that around here. So it just makes it so much easier to just mix it all together. And it's literally like a 10-minute dessert. So you do want to make sure that you leave it overnight though, because if you don't, it's not going to turn out right. The Oreos will not be soft like they need to be. So just a little tip there for you. I'm gonna take it back over here and use my hand mixer. Okay, now we have that. I'm gonna set this to the side here. Clean up my mess a little bit. Throw this in the trash. Okay, so now we're gonna get started on assembling. So I've just got this family size of the Great Value Oreos. If I was making this like for my family, I would definitely opt for regular Oreos, but we're trying to stay under a budget. So I just went ahead and got the Great Value. So I'm just gonna put them in whole on the bottom and just layer all of them on the bottom. Okay, so I have 5 by 4, so 20 Oreos down here. Now I'm going to take my mixture, layer it on top. And it's not gonna be perfect, but honestly, it doesn't matter. You know, it's nothing I've learned these last few weeks with my husband being gone, that I have to be okay with things not being perfect all the time. And if that means that my dessert isn't absolutely perfect, then kind of is what it is, you know? So just try not to stress out too hard, because at the end of the day, like, nobody's gonna care what your dessert looks like. They just care that you were there and that you brought something to contribute. Because I know that a lot of people are still having financial hardship. And, you know, sometimes if all they can spend is $5 on a recipe and they have to leave out the onion or, you know, wherever they felt that they needed to pinch the pennies, it's okay. So now I'm just gonna use the remainder of the Oreos. I'm gonna put them in a little plastic bag here, okay? And then I'm just going to seal it up. Lay them all flat the best that I can, get my rolling pin and just go to town. So now that that's done, you don't want them in like big chunks, but you also don't want it to be like a powder. So I would suggest just going for a few seconds. And then I'm just gonna use my measuring cup and just sprinkle it all over. I like pushing it down so that some of the Oreos get like submerged into the pudding. So yeah, that is what that looks like. It is looking pretty tasty. So I'm going to use some foil and just put it over the top. And then you're gonna want to refrigerate this overnight, like I said, to make sure that the Oreos get soft. Okay, so I just cleaned up a little bit, but now we're gonna get started on our corn casserole. So I've got a bag of corn. It calls for a can of corn, but I just didn't buy it because I already have this bag here. Half a cup of melted butter, which is 1 stick. Now we know that. A can of cream corn, 1 cup of sour cream, 2 eggs, and 1/4 cup of sugar. So I'm just gonna dump everything in here. I'm gonna start with my cornbread mix here. Got my aluminum pan again. I'm going to take this out of there. Just throw that in there. And I'm just going to transfer it. The funeral potatoes or cheesy potatoes have about 15 minutes left, so I'm just gonna set this to the side and then we'll throw it in when the cheesy potatoes come out. Okay, so we've done corn casserole, we've done cheesy potatoes, we've done dirt pudding. So now we just have the holiday crack, which I'm gonna do last because I need this surface. So we're gonna do the ramen salad, which, okay. I'm a little nervous about, my hair, I'm dying. I'm a little nervous about because it calls for a lot of like weird ingredients that I've never used before. Does this look crazy? But anyway, we're gonna try it. So I actually need my iPad for this. I ordered a laptop on Black Friday. I actually ordered it a couple days ago and it should be here on Saturday, but my iPad is getting like way out of date. It's a 6th generation. So it's like, why am I not connected to the internet? There we go. So it's not like wanting to download everything that it should. So yeah, there we go. I just wanted to get a laptop just because like I do a lot of things like at home for work and I have to use my tablet and I don't like doing that. So anyway. So this is called Asian Ramen Salad. It's from thecountrycook.net. All the recipes that I am using, I will leave linked down below for you if you are interested. And then I will let you know in the description box how everyone liked all of these recipes as well. So if it's something that I don't think you should try, then I will let you know down below. So this ramen salad calls for a 16-ounce bag of coleslaw mix, some green onions, 3 packages of ramen noodles, the beef flavored, a cup of almonds, salted butter, sugar, olive oil, a half a cup of olive oil, that's a lot of olive oil, some Worcestershire sauce, and a 1/4 cup of red wine vinegar. So I'm just gonna get all my ingredients and we'll see how we do this. Okay, so I think we're gonna start out by chopping up our green onions first. Also, you need to chop up your coleslaw. So I'm taking this to 2 places, but I think I'm gonna make 1 batch first and see how much it makes. And then if I need to make another batch, then I'll make another one. But I think I'm just gonna start out with 1 right now. So these green onions are looking sad. Well, all right, I'm gonna chop these up real quick. Okay, so now I have my stuff chopped up. I'm just gonna set this to the side here, and I think we're gonna get started on our sauce. Okay, so my potatoes have about 5 minutes left. Stop, please. So it says, open packages of ramen noodles, put aside the seasoning packets, crunch up the noodles into bite-sized pieces and place into a medium-sized bowl. Toss in almonds and combine. Mix together the melted butter with the 2 packets of ramen seasoning. Pour over noodles and almonds and stir well, making sure the noodles and almonds are thoroughly coated. And then you spread into a baking sheet and bake for 10 minutes. So we'll do that right now. Okay, so I've got my bowl here. Okay, so now it says, remove from oven and cool. Place coleslaw mix in food processor. Already did that. Chop your green onions. You can add those in there. Bam. Put slow coleslaw mix. Once noodles and almonds are cool, add those to a bowl and give it all a good mix. For the dressing, whisk together sugar, oil, Worcestershire sauce, and red wine vinegar, and the remaining packet. Oh, did that wrong. Okay, so sugar, oil, Worcestershire sauce, red wine vinegar. Okay, so it is half a cup of sugar. Whoops. Half a cup of olive oil, which is a lot of olive oil. One teaspoon of Worcestershire sauce. And then a fourth a cup of red wine vinegar.
It looks like,
Just take that off. There we go, that's better.
that's gonna be gross.
I don't know, we'll see. I'm gonna keep that just in case this stinks. I don't know how I feel about that. Where's my fork? And then we're just gonna mix this up and just set it to the side until the noodles are done. I'm gonna need a bigger bowl. That is gonna make so much. So if you are serving not very many people, I would suggest just making one batch and seeing what you think. Okay, so I've got everything in the oven. The ramen has came out of the oven, but it has to cool. So I've got it cooling over there. I tasted my potatoes, but they were not done yet, so I put them in for another 20 minutes. And I've got the corn casserole in the oven as well. So we're gonna get started on the very last thing. This is the holiday crack or holiday bark or whatever you wanna call it. I call it holiday crack. So you're just gonna need 2 bags of these Chester's butter puffcorn, and then 1 thing of the white chocolate almond bark. You could use chocolate, but I recommend the white, I think it just tastes better. So I'm just gonna break this the best that I can. We'll just do that. I'm gonna melt this in the microwave. So I don't have parchment paper, but you would use parchment paper if you had that. I just have aluminum foil, so that's what I'm gonna use. I should really buy some parchment paper. So I'm just gonna lay out a couple of these sheets.
Mom, it's ready.
Yep. And I usually do just 1 bag at a time. So like half of the almond bark will be for 1 bag, the other half will be for the other bag. Okay, it's almost done melting, so I'm gonna go ahead and dump these out.
Yeah.
And I've not really found like a good way to do this other than just getting in there with your hands.
Okay, I want.
So you just want to like scoop them together as much as possible so that when you drizzle, you can do that. Okay, so I'm just gonna start drizzling. Okay, so this is done. I'm just gonna let it sit here and then we will work on the ramen salad. Okay, we're gonna finish up this salad. So I have my toasted ramen here.
Mom, that's noodles.
Yeah.
It's not noodles. It's noodles. Noodles. I call it days. I call it noodles. You call it noodles.
So I've got a pretty big bowl here. I'm gonna transfer my coleslaw and the noodles. Okay, so I've got that. I'm gonna break up these bigger pieces.
It's rude. You put the stopping. I'm so sorry. Mom, I just put me
Okay,
in the face.
and then I'm going to put my sauce on. All right, guys, so here it is. We got all done. I've got my cheesy funeral potatoes. I've got my dirt pudding, my corn casserole, the holiday crack, and then our Asian ramen salad. So I hope that you guys enjoyed this video in this style. Let me know down below what you guys are making for Thanksgiving, or if you've already made Thanksgiving, what did you have and what was your favorite dish? If you decide to make any of these dishes, please let me know. Also, I will link all the recipes that I have down below in the description box. But happy Thanksgiving, you guys. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. If you're new here, please subscribe. Other than that, I will see you in my next one. Bye, guys.